here this day, and thank you for being with us to celebrate the Alumni Awards presentation today. We kicked off the Alumni Weekend yesterday in this very room with the Half Century Club banquet. It was a great event. We inducted the class of 1966 into the Half Century Club, and they continued partying last night at 5 o'clock, and they're going to continue again this weekend in Little Rock. There's a lot of activities going on this weekend, and we're thrilled that you're here to be a part of today's really important award ceremony. This time I'd like to invite Reverend J.J. Whitney, class of 96, to bring our invitation.
Good morning. What an honor to be with you today as we celebrate these alumni. Would you pray with me? Gracious God, we are privileged to be counted among your people. We are grateful to be called by you and glad for our particular traditions of faith in the world. You have marked us and named us, and we celebrate that we are people who represent diverse communities and passions and gifts. You engage us in our differences and give us courage to pursue various vocations, and you give us energy to do that particular work. We celebrate today these persons who've chosen to follow that special calling, and we lift up these exemplars: Barbara Jensen, Jason Beck, Monica Beck Glover, Chelsea Bryant Krug, and Jim Argue. They have been given gifts of intellect, public service, ingenuity, and they have used those gifts to make a difference in the lives of the communities around them. We are grateful that they represent who we are as Hendrix College. And encourage rather service to others. Fill us so with your love and grace that we may face each day with a desire to reach out to our neighbors. Send your blessing on this gathering and all the events of this weekend, that we might honor and celebrate our Hendrix community. We give thanks for those who have prepared and served our meal. May we truly recognize your presence as we continue to break bread with each other. Amen.
Thank you, JJ. Continue to enjoy your brunch and fellowship, and we'll begin the program in just a couple minutes. Good morning again. Welcome to our awards brunch. This is certainly one of those days that the college looks forward to with great anticipation each year as we recognize our classmates and others who distinguish themselves in professions and service to the world. So we're delighted that you're here. As we begin this morning, let's take a moment to express our appreciation to Mike Corey, Chef Scott Pickens, Mindy Nichols, the entire dining services staff. We have a number of our senior leadership team here today. We'd like to thank them for being with us, and also like to recognize our current and former faculty and staff. So if you're a current or retired faculty and staff member, could you stand so we can recognize you, please? And I believe that we have some former Alumni Association Award winners that are here with us today, so if you could stand, we can recognize you, please. I'd also like to recognize any current or former board members, board of trustees members, if you're here, would you stand? I want to thank the Alumni Board of Governors, for it's their group that actually helps identify the nominees and makes the awards, and so we're grateful for all they do and the volunteer work they do throughout the year, but especially on this weekend. It's hard to believe that it was a year ago this weekend that we were celebrating the inauguration of Bill Sutsui. The year's gone by really quickly, but it's been an exciting year. We have a lot of exciting plans for the future, so it's my privilege to invite Bill to come forward and share some remarks.
Well, good morning, y'all. Welcome. It is a pleasure for us all to have you with us here today to honor 5 people for their achievements and their service to the Hendrix community. It is always fun to recognize exceptional individuals who've done so much, given so much of themselves, and meant so much to so many. This is only the second one of these ceremonies for me, and I really don't remember last year because it was squeezed in between a 5K race and my inaugural speech, so my mind and my body were elsewhere. But this really stands out to me as one of those annual events on this campus, which is genuinely special and genuinely joyful. And I'm so glad you all can be part of it. Now, there will be many words of praise for our honorees in due course, but my assignment is just to give you a brief update on the college, as one of the main goals of Alumni Weekend is to make sure that no one leaves this campus without heaping servings of both chocolate gravy and nostalgia and propaganda. So I'm in charge of the nostalgia and propaganda. As president, of course, my job is to be salesman-in-chief for Hendricks. Happily, this is a very easy job. Ever since I arrived here, there has just been so much good news coming out of this campus, and so much that we can and should collectively celebrate about this college. This academic year, as you will all remember, especially in this crowd, started on a very, very high note for Hendricks with the announcement in August of the largest ever gift to Hendricks College, a remarkable and generous $26 million from the estate of Mary Ann Dawkins of Little Rock. This, of course, is a transformative gift for the college. The vast majority of those funds are going to scholarship support, so we can continue to attract the very best and brightest young people to Hendricks, and to keep Hendricks within reach of all of those talented young men and women who could benefit from the rigorous, personalized, high-touch liberal arts education that we offer here, no matter what their backgrounds or what their personal means. Specifically, the generous Dawkins gift will support the Hendricks Arkansas Advantage, which meets the full financial need of Arkansas high school graduating seniors who meet certain academic requirements and choose to come here. And it will also support the new Hendricks Aspire scholarships, which are based with partnerships on 6 schools and organizations around the state, including Little Rock Central High and Kip Delta Public Schools in Helena. And it will really make Hendricks possible for those with so much potential but so few resources. The gift will also, in small part, support the construction of a new welcome center for the college, which will be named in honor of Mrs. Dawkins and her husband, Dr. David Dawkins. Toward the construction of the center, we've also secured a $1 million grant from the Mabee Foundation, and it's a challenge grant, which means Ellis and his team have been going around the state and the country with their poems up, seeking a bit more, and we're getting pretty close. So hopefully we'll begin breaking ground on that later this year. This facility is very important for us on campus because while we all love Ellis Hall, and that is a wonderful facility for a president and his or her spouse and maybe a dog to live in, it is not optimal for 20 admissions and financial aid officers and 1,000 upon 1,000 of prospective students and their families to come through every year. It has 1 bathroom, okay? We really need to upgrade that first impression we make on prospective students, and this new welcome center will allow us to roll out our orange carpet to the larger world. Hendricks, as you all know, continues to rack up honors from the college ranking industry. We were named recently by Forbes magazine as the best college or university in Arkansas. And as I told the Half Century Club yesterday, when anyone here at Hendricks or any member of the Hendricks Mafia heard that stat, their response was, duh. U.S. News & World Report continues to be very kind to us. We were ranked again this year among the country's 10 most innovative colleges. Very importantly, I think, and really a testament to the faculty on this campus, in the top 30 for top teaching at an undergraduate institution. Our faculty continues to rack up significant honors. Tom Goodwin, who is over in the corner of the room there, was recently honored in San Diego by the American Chemical Society for his lifetime contributions to undergraduate research. That is a huge honor. Meanwhile, Jennifer Pesca, who's in our psychology department here on campus, was named the Arkansas Professor of the Year by the Carnegie Foundation. And most recently, one of our English faculty members, Alex Vernon, won a large grant from the NEH to conduct public programs on literary and artistic depictions of war for veterans in Arkansas. And I love it when my tax dollars go for humanities projects like that. Our students continue to excel, not just here on campus or not just through their Odyssey projects, but in some of the most prestigious and competitive venues nationwide. It is truly amazing to me how well our students do on some of those biggest stages nationally. So Sean Alexander, a senior from Little Rock, won a Marshall Scholarship this year. He will go over to England for a couple of years, study at the universities of Reading and Oxford. And if he is not governor of this state one day, I will eat my boots. He really is doing some wonderful work on rural hunger and is a great credit to Hendricks and to this state. Jessa Thurman, who's a senior from Hot Springs, was awarded a Watson Fellowship. If you ever want to know anything about parasitic wasps, I know who you should talk to. She's worked at the Smithsonian. In fact, she could go back there next year and work full-time, but she's going to be traveling the world instead, looking for little bugs, hanging on to other little bugs, and having a great time with it. Sidney Faubert from Franklin, Tennessee, who is a junior this year, won a Goldwater Fellowship, which is really a huge honor. That's one of the top national awards for science students. And one of her recommenders told me recently that if she doesn't win a Nobel Prize, he will eat his boots. So that's high praise indeed. We had 3 Fulbright Fellows from our students this year, including a research fellowship to Spain. Many Fulbrights, you go abroad to teach English, and those are very hard to get, but to get sent abroad to do research with an undergraduate degree and to a place like Spain in Western Europe where it's so competitive is truly phenomenal. So that is really a testament to our students and to the wonderful things going on campus. I also cannot help bragging on Hendricks athletics. I never thought when I came to Hendricks College that I would be a sports president, but we have done remarkably well on the athletic field over the past year. As I hope many of you know, our volleyball team went to the National Final Four. It's the furthest any Hendricks team has ever advanced in postseason competition, and they did us proud. Football, only the 3rd year back, but won the conference championship and distinguished themselves in the national playoffs. Dayton Wynn, one of the stars of the team, was the first Hendricks All-American ever in the sport of football. This spring, our baseball team continues to excel, and I'm going to sneak away from some of the events this afternoon to go over and watch them, assuming it's not raining at that point. And women's lacrosse, which Hendricks really pioneered in the state of Arkansas. I go to a lot of lacrosse games, and every game I ask someone on the sidelines to tell me what the rules are, and no one can. Thank goodness the folks that play know. Women's lacrosse has won more games than they ever have before, and so it's been a good year for them. And just as our faculty gain recognition for their work, so our coaches have really been recognized regionally and nationally. So Buck Buchanan, our head football coach, won conference and also Southern Region Coach of the Year. And Ryan Meek, our women's volleyball coach, won the D3 National Coach of the Year. And you know, that's just really the tip of the iceberg. I think many people in this room know the dedication of our faculty to the students here. Seeing the dedication of our coaching staff is really something special. They get it, what D3 athletics is about. They get it about a liberal arts education. And they really set wonderful examples for our students. Now, last but hardly least, in terms of the members of our Hendricks family who deserve a shout out today, are, needless to say, our alums. The reputation of this college is grounded in very large part on the continued distinction of our graduates. Their professional accomplishments, their personal qualities, their leadership in communities and churches and countless other organizations, their collective clout as the Hendricks Mafia, which is a fearsome and wonderful thing. In fact, you know, I often tell the story of how I was approached to become president of Hendricks. I got a phone call from a graduate school friend of mine who was working as a headhunter, and she was leading the search for Hendricks' new leader. And the first question she asked me was, have you heard of Hendricks College? And I had. And one of the reasons I had is sitting right over there. Tom Formby was on my faculty at SMU. And I said, yes, I've heard of Hendricks College. There are smart, good people who went there. And I just learned that in spades, that there are thousands of accomplished, really wonderful, caring, service-minded people who went to this school. I cannot possibly run through all the wonderful things I hear about Hendricks alums. But I can sit down so we can get around to our business this morning, which is hearing about the wonderful things done by Hendricks alums. Turning the spotlight on 5 really remarkable individuals who represent so many of the qualities that are great about this college, its impact, and its importance to Arkansas, the nation, and the world. So congratulations to our award recipients today. Thank you all again for being here with us on this happy occasion. At this point, it is my pleasure to introduce Drew Linder, class of 1983. And I'm going to brag on Drew a little bit too. If you were not here yesterday, we celebrated the 125th anniversary of Conway's relocation from Altus, of Hendricks' relocation from Altus here to Conway. And it's sort of a dramatic flourish that added the exclamation point on that ceremony. Drew bicycled from Altus to Conway, arriving at precisely the moment of the ceremony. And he came through 8 rainstorms on the way. He counted. It was really something special. Drew, if you could stand up, please come forward.
Thank you, President Mill. On behalf of the Alumni Association Board of Governors, I welcome you all here today. It's certainly an impressive turnout for today's event. First of all, the Alumni Association has presented the James E. Major Service Award since 1981. It was established to honor Dr. James Major, class of 1940, and Emeritus Vice President for Development, and is given for meritorious service to the college. My understanding, Dr. Major and his wife Lily send their warm regards to us today. The James E. Major Service Award is presented by the Hendricks College Alumni Association to individuals who offer distinguished service to the college and its students over a long period of time. Past recipients include current and former members of the Hendricks staff, as well as persons whose volunteer service significantly enhanced the experience of Hendricks students. The Hendricks College Alumni Association is pleased to recognize Barbara Jensen as the 2016 recipient of the James E. Major Service Award. Mrs. Jensen, would you please come forward? Barbara, it is my great pleasure to share the following citation recognizing achievements and dedication that have earned you this honor. Whereas Barbara Jensen was born in Binghamton, New York, moved to Florida where she graduated from Seabreeze High School, Daytona Beach Community College, worked at the University of Florida bookstore, and met her future husband, George. And whereas Barbara Jensen and her husband had a daughter, Hendricks alumnus Suzanne, moved to Conway, Arkansas, and had a son, Hendricks alumnus Eric. And whereas Barbara Jensen began working in 1981 for Maybeth Johnson at the Hendricks College bookstore, and whereas Barbara Jensen not only sold books, but became a 4-year and forever friend to many, many students who stopped just to talk to Barbara. Whereas Barbara Jensen acted as a daily ambassador for the college for nearly 35 years, in which she took every and any opportunity to promote Hendricks to all bookstore customers, especially prospective families when they shop there. Whereas Barbara Jensen's love and passion for Hendricks is obvious to everyone she meets. Therefore, the Hendricks College Alumni Association Board of Governors is proud to bestow the 2016 James E. Major Service Award upon Barbara Jensen and to hold her up to the Hendricks community and to the world as an exemplar of meritorious service to Hendricks College, Conway, Arkansas, April 16, 2016.
About me, so I have like 35 years of thank yous, so I won't take up your time, but there are a lot of special people here, and I'm grateful and honored to have been able to work with you and get to know you and spend half my life with you. Thank you all so much.
The Alumni Association Board of Governors created the Hendricks Humanitarian Award to recognize and honor living alumni who significantly improved the quality of life in the world throughout their service and dedication to humanity. The Hendricks College Alumni Association is pleased to recognize Jason Beck, class of 95, and Monica Beck Glover, class of 98, as the 2016 recipients of the Hendricks Humanitarian Award. Mrs. Glover, would you please come forward? Monica, it's my great pleasure to share the following citation recognizing achievements and dedication that have earned you both this honor. Whereas Monica Beck Glover graduated cum laude with a BA in Economics from Hendricks College in 1998, graduated with honors with a Juris Doctor from the William H. Bowen School of Law in 2001, and whereas Monica Beck Glover graduated with a Master's of Business Administration from the University of Arkansas Little Rock in 2002, graduated with a Master's of Law in Healthcare from the University of Houston in 2008. And whereas Monica Beck Glover was the Director of Charitable Estate Planning at the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, and then became a Clinical Operations Consultant for UAMS. And whereas Monica Beck Glover, along with her brother, Dr. Jason Beck, in 2010 started on-site imaging solutions in her home by purchasing a small mobile radiology company in South Arkansas and creating proprietary software that allowed new operational efficiencies from start to finish. And whereas Monica Beck Glover serves as President and Chief Executive Officer and has grown on-site imaging solutions from 2 employees to 65 employees across the state of Arkansas within 5 years. And whereas Monica Beck Glover's and Dr. Jason Beck's on-site imaging solutions is the market leader in mobile radiology in Arkansas, provides on-site radiological services to 85% of the long-term care market by serving nursing homes, healthcare facilities, hospice centers, correctional facilities, senior care facilities, and home health patients. Therefore, the Hendricks College Alumni Association Board of Governors is proud to bestow the 2016 Hendricks Humanitarian Award on Monica Beck Glover, Hendricks College alumna from the class of 1998, to hold her up to the Hendricks community and to the world as one who has significantly improved the quality of life in the world through her service and dedication to humanity. Conway, Arkansas, April 16, 2016. Congratulations.
When he reads my educational background, it makes me sound crazy. I promise I'm not. I really love to learn. So I appreciate this. There was a lot of hard work and dedication that went into creating a totally different mobile radiology service in the state that ever had. looking at what patients need first and really leading with that and letting success follow. And so I appreciate this award. There's lots of people who make an on-site imaging happen and who dedicated their time to the community nursing homes too. And so I want to mention them. One of them is my mother, Dr. Cornelia Beck, whose reputation really allowed us to get into the doors of these nursing homes. We couldn't have done that without her. My father, Dr. Barry Beck, who worked tirelessly with me for years, up in the middle of the night, trying to get equipment going, just doing all kinds of stuff, and lending his expertise in business as well. He was a successful entrepreneur. My brother, Dr. Jason Beck, who had the idea to do this, and who was the technology guru behind everything that we were able to do. And he provided exceptional mobile radiology services to our patients. And then there were lots of people in the business, Randy, Rob, Ryan, Denise, tons of people who really dedicated their careers and days and long hours to really focusing on patient care. So I appreciate all of them, and this award is shared with all of them. And I also want to say that, you know, we all at Hendricks focus on education, and obviously I think education is important. But Hendricks really, I think, the beauty of Hendricks for me is that it's not only exceptional education, but when we're here being educated as college kids, and throughout the years we make these incredible friendships and collaborations, and it translates into all of the rest of our lives. And so for me, I was able to stay in the state of Arkansas, where I want to be close to my family who I adore, and really be able to succeed and use those relationships to kind of further, you know, the success of our community. So I really appreciate that about Hendricks. So thank you all for this.
And speaking of Monica's brother Jason, Dr. Beck, would you please come forward? Jason, it is my great pleasure to share the following citation recognizing achievements and dedication that have earned you both this honor. Whereas Jason Beck graduated from Hendricks College in 1995 with a BA in biology and graduated from the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences with an MD in 1999. And whereas Jason Beck completed a residency in diagnostic radiology at the University of Southern Alabama in Mobile, finished with a fellowship in neuroradiology at the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences. And whereas Jason Beck founded Arkansas Specialty Radiology, which provides diagnostic imaging services at multiple specialty hospitals in central Arkansas. And whereas Jason Beck, along with his sister, Monica Beck Glover, started On-Site Imaging Solutions by purchasing a small mobile radiology company in South Arkansas, creating proprietary software that allowed new operational efficiencies from start to finish. And whereas Jason Beck serves as medical director and has grown On-Site Imaging Solutions from 2 employees to 65 employees across the state of Arkansas within 5 years. Whereas Dr. Jason Beck, Monica Beck Glover, and On-Site Imaging Solutions is the market leader in mobile radiology in Arkansas, and provides on-site radiological services to 85% of the long-term care market by serving nursing homes, healthcare facilities, hospice centers, correctional facilities, senior care facilities, and home health patients. Therefore, the Hendricks College Alumni Association Board of Governors is proud to bestow the 2016 Hendricks Humanitarian Award on Dr. Jason Beck, Hendricks College alumnus from the class of 1995, and to hold him up to the Hendricks community and to the world as one who has significantly improved the quality of life in the world through his service and dedication to humanity. Conway, Arkansas, and April 16.
Thank you very much for this. As you can tell, my sister's kind of a tough act to follow. I'd like to start by thanking my mother and father for providing the platform that allowed us to do what we did. My dad has always inspired us to see a dream and go and chase it, even if it might look kind of crazy to others. And my mother's career research in Alzheimer's disease and how to use science to better the care of those patients came together. My dad's idea is to allow Monica and I to do what we did. Monica really took the charge once the idea was born and made all of this happen, so I'd like to put a special thanks out to her as well. Hendrix College really gave us a great platform to launch from. The classes that I had here, whether it was organic chemistry with Dr. Goodwin, or Southern literature with Dr. Chappell, or human psychology with Dr. Spatz, it wasn't so much what we learned in those classes. The electron dots, I don't think, helped me a whole lot. But it was the inspiration of those teachers that really set a new bar, that showed us what greatness could be and inspired us to achieve further. And I think that's what Hendrix really gave to me, was the opportunity to learn from professors of that caliber. And I appreciate the award today. Thank you.
In 2007, the Alumni Association Board of Governors created an award to recognize the accomplishments and promise of the college's young alumni. The Outstanding Young Alumnus or Alumna Award is presented to an alumnus or alumna of Hendrix College who has shown accomplishment and promise in his or her chosen profession or in service to the broader community and has demonstrated continuing loyalty, support, and advocacy for the college. The recipient should be within 15 years of his or her graduation. Today we recognize Chelsea Bryant Krug, a member of the class of 2001, as the 2016 recipient of this award. Mrs. Krug, would you please come forward? Chelsea, it is my great pleasure to share the following citation recognizing achievements and dedication that have earned you this honor. Whereas Chelsea Bryant Krug graduated cum laude with a BA Physics from Hendrix College and holds a BS Mechanical Engineering from Washington University after completing the dual degree program. Whereas Chelsea Bryant Krug began her postgraduate work at the Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics in 2002. Whereas Chelsea Bryant Krug received her Master's Aerospace Engineering degree from the University of Colorado in Boulder in 2004. Whereas Chelsea Bryant Krug has held several positions with numerous responsibilities at the Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics. Whereas Chelsea Bryant Krug worked on the student dust counter for the New Horizons spacecraft that encountered Pluto's orbit in 2015. And whereas Chelsea Bryant Krug is the production manager for the Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics, and her other launch projects study Mars, the Moon, the Sun, and the Earth's atmosphere. Therefore, the Hendrix College Alumni Association Board of Governors is proud to bestow the 2016 Outstanding Young Alumni Award upon Chelsea Bryant Krug, the Hendrix College alumni from the class of 2001, and to hold her up to the Hendrix community and to the world as an exemplar of the values of Hendrix College, Conway, Arkansas, April 16.
Thank you so much for having me here. I feel very honored and blessed to get this award. Thank you to my family and friends as well for coming today. I can easily say that Hendrix helped guide me on this path where I am today. As Jason was just pointing out, the professors at Hendrix, their dedication and passion to the students is just, it doesn't compare to any of the other universities and colleges I've been a part of. As he said, I did the dual degree program and went to Washington University after Hendrix. I also studied abroad in Australia. I went to a couple of different colleges for summer classes and went to the University of Colorado. So I have a lot of different universities and colleges to compare to. I just never have seen the quality of professors like that Hendrix possesses. Dr. Raleigh was one of my physics professors, and there's several stories that if people know Dr. Raleigh, but there's a couple I want to share with you. One of which is he would take the effort to, if someone didn't show up for class in the morning, to go and call us and make sure, are you sure you want to miss this lecture today? This is a good one. That's just something I've never seen in another university, that a professor would, go call someone and make sure they want to come to class. He also, during an exam one time, there's only 5 of us in my physics major, and we all kept getting up asking questions during the exam. And he came in finally and was like, obviously I didn't teach this right because you guys are all asking the same question. So pencils down, I'm going to reteach this lecture right now. And so during the exam he taught us the information, and it was so much more important for us to learn the information than for him to just give us a test. I also had the opportunity while at Hendrix to do undergraduate research with Dr. Dunn. We worked on the ring laser, which is still in the physics building right now. I have used and talked about this undergraduate research so much in my history. Every graduate school interview I had, every job interview I've had, that has always been the topic of discussion when people look at my resume. Like, let's talk about this undergraduate research. I'm in a position now where I get to give high school students tours and work with a lot of undergraduate college students currently, and I always am telling them, if you have a chance to do undergraduate research, you really need to take that opportunity. It's really rare, I think, as well, for undergraduates to get to work hands-on with a professor one-on-one like I had the chance to do here. So I actually met with several Hendrix students yesterday talking about career opportunities, and every single one is like, find an undergraduate position. There's not one. Try to make them create one for you. It's really important. So, or maybe some students looking for undergraduate positions. Like I said, so having that undergraduate research experience definitely helped me get my job working on the student dust counter, which launched and went to Pluto and arrived last summer. We delivered the instrument and it launched back in 2005, and it's traveled to Pluto for 9 years. It's the fastest thing that we've ever launched into space, traveling at 17 kilometers a second. It traveled for 9 years, and then we got there and it only had about 4 hours of getting data that was better than what our previous data had. The camera was only good enough for that 4 hours to be better than what we had had before. We collected so much data during that 4 hours, though, that we're still receiving it back now, and we're going to continue to receive it back all the way into October of this year, just from that 4 hours. They're still collecting other data now, though, so we're going to be getting that data back for a very long time. It takes a long time because it's like using a 56K modem that you used to use to sign into AOL. It's just a very slow process. We've learned a lot of really great things as we've gotten to Pluto. We learned that they have another moon, which was unknown until that time. We learned when we got there that there's Plutonians on Pluto. We had no idea. That's not true. There were no Plutonians. The most interesting thing that the scientists have learned probably is that the surface of Pluto is way more interesting than expected. They expected it to just be kind of a rocky, icy ball. And it's not. It has mountain ranges bigger than the Rockies and canyons bigger than the Grand Canyon, and all these other weird features that they're theorizing about right now and haven't yet had time to come up with what these are, but as more data come in, that'll help them. New Horizons spacecraft is still traveling further out into the solar system, or out past the solar system. It's currently in the Kuiper Belt region, which is outside Pluto's orbit. And we've identified another object in the Kuiper Belt that's actually bigger than Pluto, and that's the next goal of the New Horizons spacecraft. I still currently work with the head scientist on the spacecraft, so I get to hear all about the information, hear talks from the head scientist pretty often. So it's an amazing opportunity that I got to work on that, and I'm so grateful. I know Hendrix helped get me that job, and I appreciate that. I love Hendrix so much. I'm very glad to be back here. So thank you very much.
True rocket scientist. For 56 years, the Alumni Association has presented the Distinguished Alumnus or Alumni Award to living alumni who have distinguished his or herself in vocation, service to humanity, and service to the college. Today, we recognize James B. Argue, member of the class of 1973. Mr. Argue, would you please come forward? Jim, it's my great pleasure to share the following citation in recognizing the achievements that you have earned, that have earned you this high honor. Y'all be patient here, there are a lot of whereas. Whereas Jim Argue graduated with a BA in History and Political Science from Hendrix College in 1973. Whereas Jim Argue joined Commercial National Bank in Little Rock, where he worked for 8 years and was named Vice President in 1977. Whereas Jim Argue became President of the United Methodist Foundation of Arkansas in 1981, which develops and administers charitable endowment funds to support the United Methodist Ministries in Arkansas. Whereas Jim Argue has led the foundation, where assets have grown from $67,000 to over $135 million, making it one of the largest United Methodist foundations in the nation. And whereas Jim Argue served 16 years in the Arkansas General Assembly, with 6 years in the House and 10 years in the Arkansas Senate. Whereas Jim Argue provided leadership as chairman of the Senate Education Committee and was elected President Pro Tem of the Senate from 2002 to 2004. Whereas Jim Argue has been recognized for his leadership, ethics, and commitment to improving education for all Arkansas students, and referred to as a key player in crafting a response to the Lakeview School District funding case that declared Arkansas schools unconstitutional. And whereas Jim Argue led lawmakers to significantly increase the state's financial investment, consolidate small inefficient school districts, making high school curriculum mandatory in every school district, and increasing funds to expand pre-K for low-income students in response to the Lakeview School District case. And whereas Jim Argue has served on many national education boards and was named a Fleming Fellow in 1997 by the Center for Policy Alternatives in Washington, D.C. for his ability to bring creative solutions to solve state problems. Therefore, the Hendrix College Alumni Association Board of Governors is proud to bestow the 2016 Distinguished Alumnus Award upon Jim Argue, Hendrix College alumnus from the class of 1973, and to hold him up to the Hendrix community and to the world as exemplar of the values of Hendrix College, Conway, Arkansas, April 16, 2016.
Good morning. What an impressive group of honorees for me to share this day with. I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to Hendrix College, to the committee, and to all of you today for making this such a special occasion for me and for my family. And as I thought about this award, that naturally I reflected on my past, and that brought into clear focus the countless blessings that I've enjoyed over a lifetime. My life began with the good fortune of being born into a United Methodist parsonage. And that assured me of the fact that I had a wonderful home, 2 wonderful parents, and a whole church family that served as my mentor, my cheerleader, and frequent chaperone. And then that experience, my father, so many of you in this room knew my dad. He passed away 22 years ago. And yet he was my teacher, he was my role model. No one could have a finer role model than I had. He was my best friend, and even though he's been gone for 22 years, every day I try to manage my affairs in a way that's deserving of his pride. Hendrix College. I remember for some reason I had a desire to go to Duke University, and I really can't remember why. And my dad said, well, Jim, you can go wherever you want to go, but I'll help pay for Hendrix. And so I came to Hendrix. My first visit to Hendrix was my senior year. Mackey Oakland was a freshman that year. Dad knew Mackey. And so Dad arranged for me to come up and spend the weekend on the Tahoe weekend with Mackey chaperoning me on the campus. And I've been in love with Hendrix ever since. But those were wonderful years, and the values and the knowledge that were imparted to me during my time on this campus equipped me to be a lifelong learner. And to recognize that because of my countless blessings, I had a real obligation to serve my community. And then after graduation, I had the good fortune of finding the perfect wife. Lisa's here today. She's my best friend. She's my soulmate. We're at that stage in our long marriage. We've been married 36 years. And we're at that stage where we can finish each other's sentences. And we don't even have to use words sometimes to communicate. She's been an ideal mother to my two daughters. My two daughters are here today. Sarah is our oldest daughter, and Emily Stotts is our younger daughter. My son-in-law, Jeff Stotts, is here. My sister-in-law, Ellen Tarkington, is with us. And most importantly of all, my two grandchildren are here. Charlotte and Anderson. Charlotte's going to be 5 next month, and Anderson's going to be 3 months old in just a few days. So I'm pleased to have them here. And then after graduation and my brief career in banking, I had the incredible blessing come my way of being given the opportunity to invest my career in developing the United Methodist Foundation of Arkansas. And it's been a labor of love. I've been there 35 years, and it's grown substantially, and it is sure to make a very significant and lasting contribution to the church's ministries in Arkansas. And so I'm very proud of that. It was a great blessing in my life. Along the way, I was also blessed with the opportunity to serve in the Arkansas State Legislature for 18 years. And talk about being in the right place at the right time. I was chair of the Education Committee and leader of the Senate at the very moment our Arkansas Supreme Court ruled our school system unconstitutional. Now, the typical legislative attitude would be, how dare the court meddle in our affairs? But my attitude was, what an opportunity to move forward in dramatic ways. And my colleagues and I went to work, and we worked hard to take advantage of that opportunity to improve the school system across the state. I've said countless times that I think our generation, our greatest obligation is to give young children the educational opportunity required so that they can make the most of their God-given gifts and graces. And in Arkansas, we were falling short. We continue to fall short. We're not doing as well as we can do for our children, but we're doing far better than we've done in the past. I wasn't particularly a great student at Hendrix. Those of you who are here or who were my colleagues at that time would say that my major was in bridge. But I did gain a lot from my Hendrix experience. Dr. George Thompson's here today. Dr. Thompson was my faculty advisor. And Dr. Thompson, I remember fondly from 1970 when you pulled me aside and said, Jim, if you don't get with it and get serious about your studies, you're going to be the greatest untapped resource that ever graduated from Hendrix. So I've tried to live up to your admonition, George. I want to offer my congratulations to the other honorees. I'm very honored to share this occasion with them. And also, I want to again express my appreciation to all of you for your presence here today. And I'm honored that I'm now associated with Hendrix College in this new way. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations to Barbara, Jason, Monica, Chelsea, and Jim on behalf of the Alumni Association of Hendrix College. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew, and again, congratulations to our recipients. Your life is just so inspiring, and we're tremendously proud of all that you've accomplished and so grateful that you're part of the Hendricks family. You know, this weekend is a lot of work. There's a lot going on, and it's all put together by a really dedicated group of people. I want to recognize Barbara Horton, Teresa Awesome, Jamie Brainerd, Krista Davis, and Pamela Owen. They've worked hard for months and months to pull this weekend together, and I want to thank them for all they've done. The way that we receive such great award recipients is from your help. And on the table there are nomination forms. I encourage you to take one of those home. You can also probably find it online and make nominations, and encourage your classmates and friends to do that. There's so much talent in the Hendricks world out there, and we hope that you'll continue to bring forth names like our recipients today so that our Alumni Board of Governors Committee can continue to consider those. There's a lot going on this afternoon. Currently, there's a reception right now in the Rainey Building. I invite you when we adjourn to go to that reception to recognize Mary Richardson and Stephen Kerr, who are retiring, and we're also saying farewell to the Rainey Building. As Bill said, that's going to be the footprint of the new Welcome Center later this year. This afternoon, I hope you'll go by Green Chapel. There's going to be a memorial service at 1:30 for James Jennings, our former faculty member who we remember fondly. And also a new event this afternoon at 3 o'clock is called the Master's Program. Roby Brock, a class of 87, is going to be emceeing it. We've got some great speakers, some alums from all over the country coming back, Emmy Award winners, Pulitzer Prize winners. Hope you'll come back and join us for that. A lot of parties this evening in Little Rock and in Conway. And don't forget, tomorrow at 10:30, we have the memorial service for Alumni Weekend to recognize all those alums who passed away over the course of the last year. There'll be a coffee immediately preceding that at the fountain between 10 and 10:30. So thank you for your presence today, and congratulations again to our recipients. Thank you for being here.